Hello, welcome to my videos and my blog. In this time, I'm going to talk about the UEFA Champions League 2025-2026 season, league phase, match day 1, the scores. Well, this week started the UEFA Champions League 2025-2026 season with the league phase. So this is tremendous. This is great because remember that the reigning champion team, the PSG, won the UEFA Champions League 2024-2025 season this last May. So now I started a new season and let's talk about this. So I'm recording this video because I'm going to talk about the games that were played in this match day number 1 and the results and how is the league phase table. So let's start. Well, this match day 1, like it happened in the last year, in the match day 3 is playing 3 years. Remember that usually in the UEFA Champions League the games are playing Tuesday and Wednesday, but in the match day 1 you added 1 day and this is the Tuesday, and I think that this is because this week weren't any gameplay in the Europa League until the next week. So let's start. This last Tuesday started the UEFA Champions League with the first 6 games, where in the first game the Union SG did a surprise and defeated the PSV 3-1. To be honest, was a very surprise because remember that the Union Saint Gillois was making his debut in the UEFA Champions League, where I was surprised because I thought that the PSV were gonna to win this game because they were a better team, but the Union SG was the best team. They dominate the game from the beginning to the end, and in the end they won this game easily, and they won the game 3-1. And the most important is that they won as a away team and they won the first 3 points. In the second game of the day, the Arsenal didn't have any problem and defeated the Club de Bilbao 2-0 as away team. About this game, the Arsenal dominated this game from the beginning to the end and they won this game easily. The problem for the Arsenal is even that they dominated this game, they couldn't score a goal until the last minutes of the game, and after that they won the game and they scored the first goal in the minute 72 by Gabriel Martinelli and scored the second goal in the minute 87 by Leandro Trossard. How I told you, the Arsenal dominated this game, but they couldn't score a goal, and the Atleti Club always have the opportunity to win this game or tie this game, but in the end Arsenal did enough and won this game 2-0, and they won the first game of the season. And in the third game of the day, the Real Madrid, the owner of this competition and the the team with most titles in the UEFA Champions League history with 14, defeated the Marseille 2-1. The Real Madrid made its debut in the UEFA Champions League, where they received the Olympique de Marseille. About this game, Real Madrid was the best team. Yeah, they dominate this game, but the problem is they have the lack of goal, because even they create a lot of goal opportunities, they couldn't score any goal, and the goals that they scored were as a penalty, where the Kylian Mbappe scored the 2 goals. How I told you, the Real Madrid dominated this game from the beginning to the end, but the Marseille started to win the game with the minute 22 in a counter attack. The Timothy Weah scored the first goal for Marseille. In that moment, I thought the Real Madrid was gonna to lose this game, but after that, they continue implementing his game, and they were attacking a lot to the Marseille's goal, but they couldn't score any goal. But the referee called a penalty in the minute 28. To be honest, there were some doubt about that, but it was called, and Kylian Mbappe scored the first goal. After that, the Real Madrid continued attacking, but they couldn't score any goal. And in the halftime, the game was tied 1-1, but the Real Madrid should have been leading this game minimum by 1 goal difference. In the second half, it happened the same. Real Madrid had the control of the ball, the possession of the goal. They were creating a lot of goal opportunities, but they couldn't score any goal. And in the minus 72, Dani Carvajal received a direct red card. It was a silly play because he tried to hit the Marseille's goalkeeper. He received a red card, and in that moment, I thought that Real Madrid was going to lose this game, but not. The Marseille didn't take advantage to play with one more player for more than 20 minutes. Real Madrid continued attacking, and the minus 81, the referee called another penalty for the Real Madrid. To be honest, this was a very doubtful play, because even that the Marseille's defender touched the ball with the arm, I think that it was a legal movement. I think it was a intentional hand, and in the end the referee called the penalty. To be honest, I think that this wasn't a penalty. Kylian Mbappe scored the second goal. Real Madrid won the game 2-1. They suffered more than I expected, but they won the first 3 points. And in another game, another surprise, one of the surprise of the match day, the Qarabag defeated the Benfica 3-2 as a away team. To be honest, before this game, I predicted that Benfica was going to win this game easily, but not. They dominated this game, and they deserved the victory. Even that the Benfica started to winning the game, where in the minus 16 they were leading the game 2-0, and in that moment I thought the Benfica was going to have an easy game, and they were going to win this game by more than 5 goal difference. But in the minus 30, Qarabag scored his first goal in the tournament and in his history here in the UEFA Champions League, and Qarabag were trailing by 1 goal difference in the half time. In the second half, I thought that the Benfica was going to score another goal and the game was going to be over, but not. They scored a first goal in the first minutes of the second half, and the game was tied 2-2. After that, it was a very exciting game, and when we thought that the game was going to finish in a tie. The Oleksai Karshu scored the goal in the third goal from the Qarabag in the minus 86, and they did a surprise and got the victory to the Qarabag. With this victory, Qarabag received its first three points of the tournament, and Benfica lost his first game. Thanks to this loss, Benfica decided to fire his head coach, and they decide to hire Jose Mourinho. This is the former Fenerbahce head coach, and Mourinho come back to coach the Benfica because it was the first team that Mourinho coached or managed it, and he returned after 25 years. So this is a very weird, and also it's a very weird situation, because remember that 2 or 3 weeks ago Benfica eliminated the Fenerbahce in the playoff, in the play-in round in the UEFA Champions League, where Mourinho was the Fenerbahce head coach in that moment. So it was a very weird situation. And in another game, I think that the best game of the match day, Juventus and Dortmund tied the game 4-4. To be honest, this was a tremendous game, but the most funny is that the 8 goals were scored in the second half. To be honest, when in the halftime the game was 0-0, I thought that the game was going to finish in a tie, minimum 1-1, 0-0, 2-2, or maybe the Juventus was going to win this game, but not. There was a lot of goals scored in the second half. It was very emotional, and Dortmund had the game under control, because they were leading the game 4-2 in the minus 74, and in that moment I thought Dortmund was leading the game and they were going to win this game easily, but not. The Juventus never give it up. They scored 2 goals in the stopping time, and they tied the game, and in the end the Juventus rescued at 1 point, and the Dortmund couldn't handle the advantage, and they tied the game 4-4, and each team got 1 point. And in the last game of the Tuesday, Tottenham defeated the Villareal 1-0. Remember that the Tottenham qualified to this competition because they won the Europa League, even that they were one of the worst team in the Premier League the last year. So about this game, I didn't expect it a lot. I think it was a board game, to be honest, and I think that in the end Tottenham deserved this victory. But in the end, I think that the fairest result should have been a tie because the only goal of the game was an out goal by Luis Jr. in the -4, and in that moment, and the Tottenham won the game 1-0. So it was a very bored game, and the most important of the game is that the Tottenham won this game 1-0. And the yesterday's game, in the first game, the Olympiacos tied 0-0 against the Pafos. To be honest, I thought that the Olympiacos was going to win this game easily because Pafos was making his debut in the UEFA Champions League, and in my opinion, Pafos was going to be one of the will be one of the worst team in the competition. So I thought that Olympiacos was going to have an easy game, and they were going to win this game easily by more than 3 goal difference. But this didn't happen because even that the Olympiacos was the best team in the game, they couldn't score any goal. Pafos defended very well, and in the end they could rescue the tie. With this tie, the Pafos earned its first point in the UEFA Champions League in its history, and Olympiacos was the opportunity to win his game in home, and they wasted two points. In another funny game, Slavia Praha and Bodo Glimt tied the game 2-2. It was a very funny game, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect anything about this game, but I have always said this, that when two bad teams play each other, most of the time it was a funny game because you don't expect a lot of the game. About this game, it was a very funny game to watch, and this I think this is gonna to be one of the best team in the tournament. It was a funny game, and the Bodo Glimt rescued the tie because they were trailing the game 2-0 in the -74. In that moment, I thought that the Slavia Praga was going to win this game, but Bodo Glimt scored 2 goals in the last 12 minutes of the game, and they rescued the point, and each team earned 1 point. And in another game, the reigning champion team, the PSG, didn't have any problem and defeated and humiliated Atalanta 4-0. About this game, the PSG made its debut in this UEFA Champions League edition, and they didn't have any problem and had an easy game because they should have won this game minimum by 7 goal difference because they were so superior and they all played the Atalanta. I expected a little more for Atalanta because the last year they made a very great they make a very great performance in the last edition of the UEFA Champions League, but this time they couldn't compete. The PSG won easily and they won its first 3 points on the tournament. In another game, in a tremendous game, two top teams, the Bayern Munich defeated the Chelsea 3-1. About this game, the Bayern Munich was the best team, yeah. They deserved this victory because they attacked more, and they deserved this victory, even that the Chelsea had the opportunity to tie this game, but in the end, the Bayern show why, in my opinion, they are one of the favorite teams to win this competition. And even that Chelsea is a top team, I don't see them that can compete and win this competition against the top teams. So Bayern Munich dominated this game. I expected a little more than Chelsea. They couldn't tie the game, and in the end, the Bayern won the game and took advantage to playing home. With this victory, the Bayern Munich won its first 3 points of the tournament. And in another game, a tremendous game, I think the second best game of the day, the Liverpool defeated Atletico Madrid 3-2. To be honest, this was a very funny, weird game because in the first 6 minutes of the game, Liverpool was leading the game 2-0, and in that moment, I was very surprised because in a lapse of 2 minutes, Liverpool had scored 2 goals. So in that moment, I thought that Liverpool was leading 2-0 in the -6. So I thought that Liverpool was gonna to win this game easily, and they were gonna to win this game by more than 4 goal difference. But after that, Atletico Madrid made some adjustment that improved its football, and almost in the end of the first half, in the stopping time, Marcos Llorente scored the first goal for the Atletico Madrid, and Liverpool were leading the game only 2-1 in the half time. In the second half, Liverpool was attacking because they wanted to close the game, but the Atletico Madrid never give it up. They defended very well, and when I thought that the Liverpool was going to win this game, in the minute 81, Marcos Llorente scored his second goal of the game and the second goal from the Atletico Madrid, and he equalized the game, and the game was tied 2-2 in the minute 81. To be honest, in that moment, I was very surprised how this was possible if Liverpool started to winning the game 2-0, and in that moment I thought, oh, maybe the Atletico Madrid was going to win this game, but not. When I thought that the game was going to finish in a tie, in the stopping time, in a corner, Virgin van Dijk in the minute 90 plus 2, the captain scored a goal in the corner by a header, and he got the victory to the Liverpool 3-2. It was very amazing. With this victory, the Liverpool that was the best team in the last season in the league phase. He won his first 3 games of the season, but they suffered a lot. And in the last game, yesterday's last game, the Inter Milan, the runner-up of this competition, traveled to Netherlands and defeated the Ajax 2-0. About the game, the Inter didn't have any problem and won this game easily. I thought the Ajax was gonna to give a little more battle because they were playing home, but Inter have an easy game. About this game, the Marcus Thuram scored 2 goals, the minus 42 and the minus 47, and the 2 goals were in a corner and were almost like a copy because it was the same play. The Ajax never made the adjustment in the corner. He took advantage of that, and the Marcus Thuram got the victory to the Inter, the runner-up of this competition. With this victory, the Inter Milan won its first 3 points on the tournament, and Ajax stayed winless. And in the today's games, in the first game, in one of the second surprise of the match day 1, the Club Brugge defeated the Monaco 4-1. To be honest, I was very surprised about this result because even that the Club Brugge made a very great performance the last season, so did the Monaco, and I expected that minimum the game was going to finish in a tie, or minimum Monaco was going to win this game easily, was going to win this game by 1 goal difference, but not. The Brugge took advantage to playing home. They showed that they want to compete and try to qualify minimum to the playoff run, and they did enough, and they won this game. They won this game easily because they were leading the game 3-0 in the half time. In the second half, it was impossible for the Monaco to try to minimum tie this game because they were trailing by 3 goal difference. In the minus 75, the Mamadou Diak scored the 4th goal from the Brugge, and in the end, they won the game 4-1, and they won the first 3 points on the tournament. This is very important because remember that to try to qualify to minimum to the playoff run of 16 run, you need to try to win your game as a home team, and the most probably you're going to qualify to the next round. In another game, in a funny game, the Copenhagen and Leverkusen tied the game 2-2. This was a very great game, and I thought that in the end the result was fair, but I think that minimum the Copenhagen deserve minimum to win this game because they create more goal opportunities, and they look for more the Leverkusen goal. The Copenhagen started to win in the game when the minor 9 Jordan Larsson scored the first goal of the game. In that moment, I thought that Copenhagen with the lead, and because they were leading in home, they were playing in home. They were gonna to win this game easily. I thought that the problem with Copenhagen is that they couldn't score the second goal that could have changed the game and maybe to give the victory to Copenhagen. And when I thought that the game was going to finish in a tie, they were scored 3 goals in the last 8 minutes of the game, where in the minute 82 Alejandro Grimaldo scored the equalizer and the game was tied 2-2. When I thought that the game was going to finish in a tie, in a minute 86, in a tremendous play by the Rodrigo Huescas, he put the assist. To Robert Vinicius Rodriguez in the minute 86, and Copenhagen was leading the game 2-1. They returned the lead to the Copenhagen. In that moment, I thought that the Copenhagen was going to win this game because they were leading 2-1 in the minute 86. There were less than 7 minutes to play, and I thought that the Copenhagen was going to win this game because they were playing at home. But Leverkusen Leverkusen decided to attack. They needed to attack because they needed minimum to rescue the tie. And in the stopping time, in the minus 90 plus 1, the Pantelis Hatzidakos scored the equalizer, and the Leverkusen rescued the tie 2-2. I think that even that Copenhagen is a Denmark team, or Norway team, I don't remember. They needed this victory, and they wasted the opportunity to win this game and try to earn the 3 points. But maybe let's see if this doesn't affect the Copenhagen and his goal to try to qualify to minimum to the playoff run. So each team got each point. And in another game, and a very great game, the Manchester City defeated the Napoli 2-0. About this game, I expected a lot of this game because the Napoli is the reigning champion team in the Serie A and one of the best teams the last season. How the way they play the football. But Manchester City, even that they play a very bad, they had a very bad season, bad performance in the last season. They are, in my opinion, one of the best team in the tournament. In this moment, they are not in the top teams, and they are not the favorite team to win this competition, because I think that in this moment they are a below level of the top teams. But you can never bet against the Pep Guardiola team. So about this game, it was a condition, because before the red card that the Giovanni Di Lorenzo, Napoli's defender, received, the game was very funny because Napoli was playing a very good football. But what happened? In a Manchester City counter-attack, Giovanni Di Lorenzo made a foul to Haaland, and he was the last man. The referee went to the bar and decided that it was a direct red card, because he could a football play advantage. And since that moment, since the minus 21, Napoli played with one less man. Manchester City took advantage of that, and they scored 2 goals. Of course, the 2 goals were scored in the second half, in a lapse of 9 minutes, but where Erling Haaland scored the first goal from the Manchester City. Jeremy Doku, in a tremendous play, scored the second goal, and Manchester City won easily this game 2-0. But to be honest, Manchester City should have won this game minimum by another 2-1 or 2 goal difference, because they dominate this game. But of course, because they play with one more player, but it wasn't his foul, it was the Napoli's foul. So with this victory, Manchester City won his first 3 points of the tournament, and Napoli is winless. And in another game, the Frankfurt didn't have any problem and defeated the Galatasaray 5-1. About this game, I was very surprised, because even that the Frankfurt was playing in home, I thought that they had the advantage of that. I thought that this game was going to be finishing at time. And also, it was very funny because the Galatasaray started to win the game in the minus 8, and in that moment I thought that the Frankfurt were in troubles. But in the last 10 minutes of the game, in the last 10 minutes of the first half, the Frankfurt scored 3 goals, 2 own goals from the Galatasaray, and by surprise of everyone, the Frankfurt were leading the game 3-1 in the half time. In the second half, it was very difficult to the Galatasaray to try minimum to tie the game, because the difference was 2 goal difference. They have a goal opportunities, but they couldn't take advantage of that. And in a lapse of 9 minutes in the second half, Frankfurt scored another 2 goals, and they won that game 5-1. Also, something important is that Frankfurt shoot 5 times on goal, and they scored the 5 times. So it was a very great performance from them in that aspect, and the Frankfurt took advantage to play home, and they won the first 3 points of the tournament. In another game, the Sporting CP didn't have any problem and defeated the Kairat Almaty 4-1. The Sporting Lisboa took advantage that they play in home, and they play against one of the worst team in the tournament, and they won this game easily. Also, the Sporting Lisboa battled a lot, because they were only leading the game 1-0 in the half time. But the funny was that in a lapse of 3 minutes, the Sporting Lisboa scored 3 goals, and that was the difference to win the game 4-1. With this victory, Sporting Lisboa won its first 3 games of its first 3 points of the tournament. And the last game of the Matchday 1, the Barcelona traveled to Newcastle, England, and defeated the Newcastle 2-1. To be honest, Barcelona was the best team here, and they deserve to win this game by minimum another by 2 or 3 goal difference because they dominate the game. The problem is that the Barcelona couldn't score the goal in the first half. In the halftime, the game was tied 0-0, but in the second half, in a lapse of 9 minutes, Marcus Rashford, that was the MVP of the game, scored 2 goals. I think that 2 goals, especially the second one, and got the victory to the Barcelona. After the Barcelona was leading the game 2-0, Barcelona thought that the game was over and they have the game under control, and they decided to relax. The Newcastle never gave it up. They scored a goal in the minus 90 by Anthony Gordon in a tremendous play, and they put emotion to the game because I thought that the Newcastle had the opportunity to minimum tie this game and rescue the tie, but Barcelona defended very well, and Barcelona got the first 3 points. So how is the table? Of course, it's the first is the match day one, and Frankfurt, Paris, Club Brugge, Sporting CP, Union SG, Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Inter, Man City, Qarabag, Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Tottenham. Each of these teams won their game and they won the first 3 points. And the Borussia Dortmund, Juventus, Bodo, Glimt, Leverkusen, Copenhagen, Slavia, Praha, Olympiacos, and Pafos, each one have 1 point, and the rest of the team has 0 points. So is the match day number one. Of course, a lot of this is gonna to change in the end of the league phase, but this is very interesting and there is a lot of great games. So I hope you like this video, and if you have any comment or suggestion, you can write me in an social platform. So see you next video. Gibran.